I potentially would have been in buys on this retest if there was enough range, but there just really wasn't. It's like an 11 pip range.
Quite a big candle as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a 12.5 pip stop. Morning, morning. Yeah, gold is just ranging as well, pretty much. Same situation. Yeah, we may not get anything here today. Create support on the 1 hour.
I'd like to have seen overnight us get above 149,300 on the 4 hour, but
Yeah, that would have been nice, but at the same time, I mean, we've created this structure within this 4 hour range, which is why I've got this level at 148,700. So this level in the middle of the range is a support. It's a support and resistance. So anywhere below this previously was resistance here, below here was resistance, and then above here was support. So you've created support over here on the 4 hour. So I mean, if this 4 hour candle can start breaking above the high over here, breaking above these wicks, then I think we can start to head up to 149,300 and so on. Obviously 149,300 may cause us some issue because it's a previous support on the 4 hour, but we'd want to let price make a high above this level first, wait for support, and then take nice easy buys, because a close above would be good, but there's too much issue to the left for me.
yeah, I want to see a break of 149,300 before buys.
It's like the bottom wick situation again. See, there was literally a 12 pip range to the Asian high. That's why I didn't want to take these buys. I want at least like like an 18 to 20 pip range to have a 12 pip stop. Not necessarily just a 1-to-1. but it looks good to continue up to retest this high. It's just whether we can break above or not, because we have a lot of rejections here. Morning everyone in the YouTube. Right, let's check out this chart. Check out this chart. Okay, this is pound yen 1 hour, buy zone above 149.350, no trade zone. Yeah, it makes sense. If you can get some support forms over there, you have a clean range. Sells, I mean, that's up to you. You haven't got any sells marked out, so I think you've got the right idea there. Pound yen's moving up. It's about to come up to break that 4-hour high. We're breaking above 149. 230 over here. That could have been a nice move though, Kelsey. It just, if it had a slightly bit more range, if it was like 14, 15 pips, I would have taken it. But it was literally 12 pips to the high. But now
I mean, there's definitely a chance of getting on the pullback of the candle, but then, yeah, it wasn't the best of ranges.
No, it wasn't the best of ranges. You're right.
It was a nice rejection on the hour though.
Yeah, just wasn't that much range. That was the only issue.
Yeah, if we can get buys above this area, we've got some good ranges to get to.
Yeah, we
Sure.
just may have some issues around 300. That's why I want to wait for like a support to form, see if we react to that area.
Yeah, that was still in pre-London as well, so
I don't think we're going to be getting any sells here today. But yeah, I mean, from a point-to-point perspective, this was a good move this morning. And it's something similar to what we took yesterday. Or it's that move that we see all the time. Morning, I'm in buys from 140, 160. 140, 160. Okay, nice. Yeah, very nice. Should be grabbing some pips right now. Yeah, we're gonna need a solid support above this area. But nice work. Nice work, Freddy, sorry. Nice work, man. Suppose it could have been taken and then could have closed half over here and then let the rest run. You know what, to be honest, I woke up a little bit later today anyway. No joke. Moving up here, we are at 149.300, so we're at that level now where we could potentially start to have some reaction point. So now since we've tapped into that level, if we retrace and create some support, it makes sense for a continuation. 4 hours breaking above the highs, 4 hours coming into this problem area. But the move started from this candle. So usually we look for this kind of area like this. If this had a little bit more range, let's say if it was up to about here, I would have taken buys right over there, stops below there, and then obviously target up over there. But it had literally this range for this reward, so it didn't really make sense to take it. But I mean, for a runner perspective, it kind of did, because now we've got 20 pips in one 30-minute candle. But still, you know, we could have reacted off this point and then just not gone anywhere. So, but we still got, like I said, the best buying opportunity kind of where we're at now. Just gotta wait for support. We don't want to be buying over here, because then we'd be buying potentially in a rejection zone. We want to wait for confirmation. I think daily can continue moving up to 149,650 if we continue on. Looks like we're pushing here. There will be some form of pullback for London Open. What's everybody looking at today? I'm also waiting to see if we can get some resistance on gold. Also waiting to see if we can get a break below 1731 with a resistance on gold for price to continue down. Pound yen, we're gonna have to wait to see if we can create some support. These candles are just bullish at the moment. We've got 4 minutes left for the 30 and the 15-minute candle to close. One hour also got half an hour left. And it's getting above everything at the moment, which is good.
Yeah, this might just keep going the next half an hour.
Maybe, but we are due some form of pullback. It may do continue running. But it will have to create some support somewhere.
Yeah, stops are huge anyway, if it stays like this.
Yeah. Looks like it's gonna keep on running up. This is always the moment we're like, we should have been in buys. 30 pips right there.
It was only tough because obviously like, the 1 hour was a little bit like yesterday.
Yeah. I just think more than anything, I thought it didn't make sense from a risk reward perspective, because obviously I like to get in on, let's say, like the retest of this support, which literally only gave us a 12 pip range for at least, let's say, a 14 pip stop. Do you know what I mean? So it didn't make sense. But now that it's broken out, like, it's like, oh yeah, okay, well, you know, it could have anticipated the move up, but then could you have done? I don't know. So Freddie will be well up nice into pips now. 30 pips over there, beautiful. Yeah, I think we can continue moving up to daily resistance. How far is daily resistance away? It's like another 26 pips away. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait for a support to form over here. Don't even have one on the 5-minute. Yeah, gotta wait for a pullback. 15-minute candle closed bullish. 30-minute candle also closed bullish. Now we must wait. Morning, Salim.
Morning, mate.
Flip at gold. Gold is just there. Would you enter in a buy if this candle broke above the previous 30-minute candle with stops from previous resistance at 1.9230? Probably not. What I'm looking for here is a support to form, something similar to last week. Because if you want to take buys with the next one breaking above the previous one, then your stop is going to be pretty big. You know, you're looking at least 25 pip candle. So yeah, I would say it's probably best to wait for a support to form, which is exactly what I'm waiting for. If we get a support to form, then this move up should be a solid move coming up. But if we can't get support formed, then that's unlikely to happen. The only way that's gonna happen is if you see a if you see on the 5 minute, if you start to see on the 5 minute, if we start to get bearish candles like this, right, just a couple, and then you start to see, you know, bullish candles start to come back up like this, then you could anticipate a continuation based on the smaller time frames. But otherwise, it's best to wait to see if we can get a support created down over here. This is the best opportunity to wait for, basically. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for here. Yeah, best situation, retracement, support. Can we see your gold chart again, please? Okay. So with gold, what I'm looking at with gold is because if we look on the 4-hour time frame, obviously we could be creating what we saw, you know, yesterday, where we get bearish candles forming in a downtrend, and then this becomes, you know, a lower low. You want to put yourself selling at the high point. This is the high point, but we don't have confirmation yet because we closed above this previous support level. So technically there's the opportunity for gold to actually come up and retest that resistance. So that's why I've put support above this area, and then some form of resistance below this area is going to be much better. And if we can get a nice minor resistance below this support here, it would make sense for gold to continue down. Similarly with you know, support above 1740 would make sense, because then we'd be creating support above these wick rejections, and then it would make sense for potential continuation up with the 4-hour time frame. But you probably want to at least see you know, the first 4-hour close bullish, something like that would be better to see, and then it's probably going to be like an MY. You know, but at the same time, we also have this minor resistance within this range, you could argue. But you know, this is okay buys, like it's 40 pips, it's good range, but there's some issues to the left hand side. The other thing as well is this is also within the 4-hour range right now. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. But people need to keep an eye on pound yen for us while we if we're ever breaking other things down. I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling, a nasty feeling, this is just gonna be one of those days. It's just gonna run. It's obviously not the day that we want that to happen. Obviously we still got Thursday, Friday, but still, we want our ideal situation, or at least a 15-minute support somewhere over here. Just have a feeling.
I feel it's gonna like form support in the 5 minute and just go.
Just go, yeah. Obviously, that would be great if it doesn't, because then we'd be creating a nice retracement for open. But most of the time, it's gonna do that. No problem. Drop a like on the stream, guys. Let's get some likes up in here. Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be one of those days. Well, we'll see, we'll see. Because we don't know, we could make a high at any point and then retrace to create some support. So any form of support is going to be good. But looking at the 5 minute, I think this looks like we could potentially continue on. But yeah, obviously if it doesn't, that's good case scenario. Those buys at 149, 160 with the range, you just anticipating price to break. You could do, but I think that's not the best idea. I think what we were discussing this morning, but there just wasn't enough range, because usually when I see a fake out like this, right, when we see a fake out of like support like this, we tend to want to like enter somewhere over here on the retest, and then we're looking to target the next resistance level. Now from a risk reward perspective, the risk was around 14 pips, whereas the reward was only about 11, so it didn't quite make sense to take it. If this range was slightly larger, if we had like a 15 pip range, I would have said okay, it makes sense, because this would be a nice target, and then if it doesn't break resistance, then it's not the end of the world. But it did, but only because it did, people would be like, oh yeah, because we could anticipate to break. But you never know when it's gonna break, you just do once it's done it. You gotta look at what information you do have, and we do have this resistance previous high point as well, so this support level here made sense for that basically move up, but there just wasn't enough range for me to want to take a buy. I mean, it was one of those, like, it was very high chance it was gonna do it. And you could argue, yeah, it would have made sense to get in, but then I thought, okay, well, I know that I can get clean buys above 149, 230, whatever. If we get a solid support formed somewhere over here, then I also know at that point that's going to make more sense to continue up as well. So that's missing this piece to here is not the end of the world. Catching a solid support formed over here would be better, and then I can have a much better trade at that point. Well, I'm glad it's not going to run off, hopefully. So if we close back in the range, then that will be a big rejection on the higher time frames. So remember that. Because realistically, we want to really see something above 300 based on where the 4 hour is. So we are getting a nice retracement. Okay, so the 15-minute candle's closed bearish, which is good. So now we want to wait to see if we can get a support form for price to continue moving bullish.
Yeah, I think if this 15-minute can actually form support, the hour should close above 300, and then we should head up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think my best situation is, you know, like a solid candle close over here. Obviously, the best situation we'd want a candle close over here with a nice rejection wick would be nice, because then we can, you know, look at, you know, placing stops somewhere down over here to be safe and conservative. Obviously, over here, the problem is you need stops below whatever area of support has been created, rather than, you know, looking to get stops below the breakout candles. But I mean, yeah, wherever we kind of create some form of support would make the most sense for price to continue up. But yeah, I'm hoping we can get something decent here today. That'd be nice. But yeah, man, at least we've seen this again and again and again. You know, it just was one of those. Did we have enough range? Probably not for the risk. But then again, you know, you could argue, I mean, it's one of those ones, like, it's the probability. So should you be taking that because, you know, this is going to happen only X amount of times? I mean, if stops were down over there, you were completely fine. You was completely fine. I don't know, I don't want to dwell on it. Plus, I'm not even gonna lie, man, woke up late today. I woke up very late today. And what I want to pay close attention to is, are we seeing rejections on the 5-minute? Because then even if we get like a 15-minute support, but it's not very strong compared to the rejections that we could potentially be seeing, you know, it doesn't quite make sense at that point. You know, we may even need to wait for a 30-minute count to close. 7 minutes left for the 30-minute candle to close. What I don't want to do is be taking buys somewhere over here. That's not what I want. Only if we get like an engulfing candle would I look for further upside at that point, because that's a good confirmation, but not any impulsive break of these highs. You know, we need to wait for solid closes. Got 5 minutes left on the 15-minute candle. Made a little bit of a top wick. Hasn't really like broken the low yet to potentially retrace. I'm hoping we can see quite a solid support formed. Let's look at gold. Gold is just ranging. Yeah, gold is just completely ranging.
Yeah, even if this 15-minute closes bullish, like the 1 hour is going to be open. It could easily pull back to like that previous support at like 230, 240.
Sorry, mate. Say that again.
So even if this 15-minute form support, you're going to have that hour opening at 8. You have the London possibly pulling back at least maybe to like that previous support 230 before heading up.
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
it could just run if this 30 closes weak though.
Yeah, I mean, to take a buy on this 15-minute candle, we'd probably want it to be closing above this minor resistance here. I mean, yeah. It depends. I may wait to see if we get a 30-minute candle closing bullish.
Yeah, I'm happy to wait as well, to be fair.
Because if it closes a weak 15-minute candle, I don't know, man. It does look like it potentially could continue. Because the only thing on the 5-minute, if this was a previous support then created on the 5-minute, yeah, I mean, we could still be closing like below that, or this resistance level. I don't know.
Would be nice if we get 30-minute close bullish. The next candle above them previous 30 minutes. If it doesn't just run off.
So we've got a 15-minute candle closing bullish. New 1-hour candles just opened. Yeah, maybe we're gonna want to wait to see a 30-minute candle close. Let's see the 5-minute close. It closed below this level of previous support. I just don't know if this was a good enough confirmation, but I mean, it could be.
So maybe that was the hour retesting 149,300 before heading off. But
I don't know if I trust it.
it would have to be impulse anyway at this point. And I don't really want to be doing that.
No, neither. Yeah, a 30-minute support is going to be way more solid confirmation. That's going to be a really, really, really solid confirmation. Yeah, because if this candle starts rejecting and starts coming down, breaking the low, then obviously we would have been glad. See, that's what I mean. From a 5-minute structure perspective, you know, like see previously, right? See how it closes above those highs, you know, or close above those highs. Like yesterday, right? We got caught out because we never closed above. Oh, we're coming down over here with open.
It's reacted off that 15-minute error or 5-minute error.
Yeah.
I think we just let this do its thing for a bit.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. I mean, you'd definitely be pretty nervous if you was in buys right now, considering it's already wicked up. I mean, to some extent it can go, but then if we start to see okay, early on now these rejection wicks on the 5-minute, this could be potentially now starting to reject to head further down, and then we start to see rejections to the downside on the 5-minute starting to build, and then that would be a better confirmation for that uptrend. But we're not really sure, because I was looking at the trade obviously we took yesterday, and obviously we discussed it after the stream. But one thing, you know, that we didn't quite maybe look at, where was it? It was was over here, wasn't it? You see how on the 5 minute, this was a previous, I know it's a weak 5 minute support, but this is still a support zone that was created, and we never closed above that on the 5. And actually see how we created resistance and then had this pullback. So I mean, we don't look at the 5 minute to understand, well, to even know that, but like, you know, if we looked at that next time, we might say, okay, well, the 5 minute never closed above this structure. But then when we started to see these rejections coming up on the 5 minute to go bullish, that's when we had that push up. But I mean, right now, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I personally want a 30-minute candle to close bullish. It's going to be a much stronger confirmation. You know, new 1 hour candles also opened up. Definitely want to start checking out the 5 minute from now on, like, but as in not to take base trades off, but I'm going to watch it for the whole of March. We've already broken the low now on the 15 minute. I'm going to watch the structure on the 5 minute for March, because you know, here what puts me off is these rejection wicks. So we could start to head down, and then wherever we want to see some form of low being created, some stronger support level being created somewhere over here. And then if we start to receive rejections here, that's going to be perfect to continue up. Okay, nice. So we are seeing a retracement. So I think if we can get a solid support formed, preferably on the 30 now, because we are seeing these rejections here on the 15 minute. We'll wait to see if new 1 hour can retrace a bit. Yeah, it's retraced now. It's done a retest at this point. I think we made a good decision there, Kelsey.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's that need to feel like you need to be in a trade. That's what catches you out, because you see a 15-minute support and you're like, oh, it's going up, but then you look on the hour and you see the hour's closing. It's gonna need some kind of bottom wick.
Well, you would have thought, wouldn't you? Yeah. Sometimes it's gonna run, but I mean, this is maybe where, looking at the smaller time frames, you're gonna see confirmation to say that we're gonna continue, because that's not something we really do, is it?
No.
Imagine if we fake out, man. That'll just be shit.
Yeah, it'd be annoying. But like normally, like fake outs normally should happen within the first candle.
Yeah, usually. That's why if we do start to create some support here, it's going to be good. Because if this is a rejection wick, then we'll see it physically on the 5 minute. Yeah, it does seem like it could be a break and retest. There's some nice rejections going on here on the 5 minute situation. You can see it's nice rejection. If this next 5 minute candle closes bullish, that also looks good. But then we also have these rejections here, don't we? But then do these become the position where we fill? 30 minutes still open. 1 hour candle still open. $30 now flipping bullish.
If 15 minute can get above a little resistance there, that would be quite nice, because then you get kind of into them rejection wicks in the 5 minute.
Yeah. It's almost like this is a breather, and then if we tap into our key level and we start breaking up, then we can continue. But we'll see, because we've only got like 2 minutes left for the 15-minute candle to close, and we don't want to be making sure we are being safe. going on, A-Rod? Morning. Better late than never. You didn't just say anything, did you, Kelsey?
Nah.
Oh, that's alright. I thought I saw your thingy come up, but someone keeps sending me voice notes on WhatsApp. Yeah, I think right now, since the 15-minute candles closed like this, I think it's going to be best to maybe wait for a 30-minute support or something solid at this point, because these look like rejections to me now. Rejecting here, rejecting these previous high point. So I mean, it's either going to be, you know, like we get that full retracement close over here and then we start to see bullish candles forming again, or we now wait to see, you know, price closing above this minor resistance, because then this is still a support forming. This is just a minor high point, and then you can anticipate continuation. So we've got about an hour and 45 minutes left for the 4 hour to close. So we are kind of seeing the structure on the 5 minute. These current lower minor resistances, lower support levels. So we need to wait and see what kind of happens within this vicinity. But it's interesting to watch. I think it's gonna give us a lot more experience with looking at these type of things. Yeah, I think these current tunes that I'm playing are much better. I basically made a little playlist of like 8 songs or 5 or 6 songs that are alright. Come on guys, let's get some likes on the stream. We've got 13 likes. We've got nearly 37 people. We should have at least 30 likes over here. Come on guys. Let's get those likes up. Looks like we're breaking up over here. 30 minutes trying to close bullish. 1 hour. Jordan got in on the 5-minute rejection. What, over here? Yeah, could have made sense. Seems like we can continue moving up. Despite this 5-minute having no wick to the top, it does seem as though we can continue this move on. But I am still kind of waiting over here to see what happens. Because if this 30-minute candle closes bullish the way it is, then I think we have a solid support formed for price to continue moving up.
Yeah, I think so too. I'd like to see this 30-minute break the highs and then still close fairly where it is now, around that area. Just so stops aren't too big.
Yeah.
Because then the 15 minutes got above everything as well. That'd be good.
Yeah,
or it's just going to run.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time. That's the problem. We'll see. We'll see. We might start rejecting this level again and retrace.
Yeah.
But I think if we overall close bullish on the 30-minute, then that would make sense. Yeah, I think a good target would be 650, the daily resistance. Let's look on the 4 hour, see where we have. So 4 hour, we're probably good to around 800. 1 hour, we're good to. Yeah, we do have a 1 hour zone around 680, but I want to be out by like 650, which is daily resistance. Yeah, I think 650 would be a good target. I entered it on the 1 hour retest, managed to get my 10 pips. Nice. Yeah, that's good, man. I mean, for me, I'm still waiting for some solid support to form or something that's going to show me that we can continue moving up, and then I want this nice potential range to fill. But no impulses on this kind of zone. Don't really trust it right now. You know, I'm waiting to see if we can pull back to this area and create some solid support. Something like this would make sense. You know, closing back above this minor level. And then we can see again something similar to what we've been seeing over here. And then just chill. Good risk management, HFX. You just don't jump in willy-nilly. Yeah, I think that's one of my. I think it's a good thing. Like, you know, I know my discipline level. You know, I can stay out of a trade. You know, I never really feel like the need to trade. But for me, what I think is my biggest problem is not executing on ideas, and, you know, putting things like, there's always something putting me off in my head, you know, and I need to stick to, you know, what I am good at. And, you know, a lot of the times I haven't like last week. I mean, I should have had all wins last week, so it's pretty disappointing to come on this week and then yesterday take one loss, which obviously I afterwards, you know, I thought about it, and it probably wasn't the best trade. It wasn't the best position that I could have been in, but like it made sense to me at the time. But that's just how it goes, right? But, you know, again, you need to have that confidence to execute. But I won't be trading pound from around midday anyway, because that's when the budget news is. Okay, let's look at gold. Oh, gold. No one told me gold was breaking down. Didn't create resistance. So if gold retraces to create some resistance, then I think it would be really nice for gold to continue down, something I'm looking at. Because if we look at the 1 hour, 1 hour is also breaking down. 4 hours now coming down. So yeah, if we can start to create some resistance somewhere on the smaller time frames, it would make sense for continuation of gold. Check EN 15 minute. I see gap in live market. Where's the gap? Where's the gap? I don't see no gap. No, I don't see no gap. But EN is in a sticky situation right now. Pound yen, we've got like 4 minutes left. I think a 30 minute we need, Kelsey. You know, or like a 15 minute that's gonna do something that, you know, like is significant. May even be a 1 hour. 1 hour kind of.
Yeah, maybe the 4 hours are struggling at the moment as well.
Yeah. 100%. Alright, let's check out. Let's check out this gap. Oh, I see. What liquidity provider are you looking at? Nah, see, he hasn't done that for me. I think because I look at Euro NZD FXCM, there's Oanda, Forex.com, you know, there's all these different types that I always go just with FXCM because the top one makes, you know, it's just easier to be consistent with that. But yeah. Oh, you did FXCM. I think it might just be your trading view then. It's very strange. Okay, we've got like a minute and a half left for the 30-minute candle to close. Because we've got around a minute and a half. Okay, so the 30 minute time frame is closed bearish at this level. 1 hour candle's obviously still open. 15-minute candle closed bearish. We've created a minor resistance here. So we've created resistance over here. So now we're looking to see, okay, can we close above maybe this minor support to continue moving up? Or are we going to start maybe correcting some of this to come back in the range? So obviously that's going to safeguard ourselves. Most of my targets have been happening an Asian session lately or New York session. Yeah. I'm hoping we'll see a nice day today with pound yen. I'm hoping. But I'm not liking taking an impulse over here or anything like that. I want to be good and wait for candles to close. I'm also looking at gold. Seeing if we can create a resistance with gold. We can also see gold heading bearish. But come on guys, let's get those likes up on the stream. Let's get those likes running. Yeah, one of the things I don't like is how this candle went bullish first and then went bearish. This candle did the same thing. It went bullish first and then went bearish. So this candle here may well do that same thing. It may well come tap up into these highs and then start to retrace again. But yeah, I mean, we gotta wait here because I'm not really liking what's going on right now. Yeah, because we could well come right back in the range at that point. If this candle starts flipping, breaking this low, there is that potential we could come right back into this range. Yeah, come on guys, let's get those likes up. Let's get those likes up. Man, this is just dead. Nice barcodes, yeah. I mean, we're creating supports, but technically we're just consolidating. I mean, not technically, we are consolidating. You know, price just moving sideways at this point. But usually, you know, if it's going to move sideways, it should eventually start to see rejections of this lower end again. And then, you know, you could anticipate that's the point at which we can start heading up. Same way we saw that move after the stream yesterday. So yesterday after the stream, we saw the move up on pound yen. We saw that situation. Where was it? Over here. So obviously we had resistance over there. We had resistance here. Right, we create resistance back in the range, and then this candle ended up closing above that area, which is what we were kind of looking for within the session. And then this was your move up that we were trying to catch up to 148.650. So it goes to prove, you know, how sometimes that initial push isn't going to be the move that you think. But yeah, you could have caught this from a 15-minute perspective as well. This would have become your target. This area would have been your target. Same as what could happen today. You know, if we fake out, we come back in the range, but then we create support or reject the lower end again, and we get a solid close back above. You know, this is where we can see those retests happening, volume, and then this becomes a target, and then it continued moving up from there. It's creating more liquidity for a strong impulsive move to push up. I hope so. I hope so, but I mean, we gotta wait. We gotta wait to see how the 30-minute candle closes. We gotta see, because what we have seen is the way in which the candles have formed, and this one, same thing. This one, same thing. Same thing. You know, it's creating these top wicks to come down. You know, on the smaller time frames as well. So we want to be careful that we're not getting too ahead of ourselves. I'm just chilling. Waiting for the best opportunity I can find for myself. You know, even if that means letting another push go, but then waiting later on for a retracement to form support somewhere over here. You know, that's perfectly fine as well. But I'm not trusting this situation right now. You know, these are kind of rejecting. You know, look at the candle again. We spoke about this. You know, it moved up in the first half, and now in the last coming into the last 3 minutes, we're seeing this retracement. We need to see confirmations within this vicinity here. Look at gold. Yeah, gold should be continuing bearish. I'm waiting for a resistance on gold. Or even, we have further selling points below 17.25. If we get resistance below 17.25, we have another 70 pip range at that point. Actually, we don't. We have a support right over there. I didn't look at that. Man, GJ's been disgusting. I just wish this had a higher range, man. I wish Asian done what it usually did and made a fake out in the Asian, and then this would at least been a target above 149 230, and then it would have made sense to look for buys back up to that high point. But there just wasn't enough range. But I think that was the move there this morning. So far, this has been the move. All this shit, this is just crap. Look what we're doing right now. Again, exactly what I spoke about. I think that's a really important thing, is to look at the way in which candles are forming. Once we broke above this area, we started to notice that 5 minutes we're seeing rejections to come down. That's why we're seeing these top wicks being created first. Same happened with this candle. We saw those rejections, and then same again now with this candle here, the bullish, the current 30-minute candle. Same situation. Wick up is these rejections happening on the 5. But yeah, I don't know where GJ's gone, man. Even January, like, there were just simple buying opportunities. Simple opportunities. We've got 54 seconds left for the 15-minute candle to close. It seems like it's going to close weak. It's closing below this area. I don't know if it makes sense for us to start heading up yet. Come on, guys, let's get some likes up in here. We've only got 24 likes. Oh, that's mad. I've just seen a thing, yeah. It says scientists have found 3 new deep water shark species that can glow in the dark. That's mad. That's mad. Come on, guys, let's get those likes up, man. The 30 minute looking like it's creating a small support. Yeah, we gotta wait for it to close, and then we can argue that case. But I'm seeing a lot of this going on, these rejections, so we'll have to wait and see. I mean, if this candle just runs up, like, that would just, yeah, no confirmation really at all. Not even on 5 minute structure does that make sense. Some fish pass the human intelligence test for children. No way. That's really interesting. Looks like we're moving up. Saw it on Joe Rogan's Insta if you follow him. No, I don't follow Joe Rogan, but I'll check that out later. That's quite interesting. Boom, 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 boom. Right, we've got 1 hour left for the 4 hour candle to close. 30 minutes kind of just there. Again, 15 minute, yeah, it's kind of moving up right now. 5 minute is at the top of this range. It's a very difficult situation right now. Either way, we've got to wait for the 30 minute candle to close at this point, because there's no confirmations on the 15 minute here. Yes, this is support formed, but look at the structure, look at again where we're wicking into. You know, just because this candle is moving up, you know, this is where people get, this is these situations here is where people get absolutely ruined, because they try and take buys on breaking this high, they try and take buys on breaking that high, they give, I mean, I've been there, trust me, I've been there. I've been in this situation trying to get these impulsive, it just, when you see this, no, wait. You're seeing consolidation, you're seeing the market basically breathe, it's getting a breather, and then you either want to see that continuation, right, or you want to see some form of correction to say that this is not going to continue heading up. You know, but looking at the overall higher time frames, although we're rejecting here now, right, if the overall 30 minute candle closes bullish, then you could argue that, you know, we have then we're paving the way for the next one to potentially, you know, continue that move. And then that's where, you know, these impulses come in once you get that confirmation. But get the confirmation first and then look for your impulsive entry. Because I think if we can have this 30 closing bullish, I think we can have a nice buy coming up to 149, 650. Obviously,
yeah,
I
think so too.
I'm gonna look on the 15 as well, making sure that there's nothing really that's like off-putting. But I mean, definitely it looks solid if we do create the support here. I think that's the 1 hour also should be closing. 1 hour should also be closing a week bearish, maybe bullish, but we'll see.
Yeah, the main thing is if the hour is respecting 149, 300.
Yeah, we'll see, because if we start to see this current 15 not closing, so notice how, you know, these previous candles, you know, they were all kind of rejecting this vicinity. So if we can see, you know, at least this 15 closing somewhere within these wicks, then I think that would be a good confirmation as well, based on the 30-minute closing strong, and then I think we can have a good buy. But I don't want to be jumping into the unknown. I don't want to be jumping into shit creek, because this is bad. This is bad here, unless we can close within it, and then we should see some form of rejection to the upside to then head up again and continue the trend. But again, if we see what we've been seeing with these other candles, where they're wicking up into this area, 149.400, 149.350, and they're rejecting and they're coming down, then no, we're not gonna buy that. It doesn't make sense to buy that. We've got 6 minutes left. And I want this 30-minute to be closing above 149.300 as well, because if it doesn't, then it's not really a strong support at that point. Plus, that would suggest this 15 minutes kind of closing below. See, we created support at 149.300 on the 15 minute, but we couldn't sustain that. So we need this counter to be closing above. It's just a test of delaying gratification. Ooh, I like the words. I like the terminology. For a better result in the future, they are training the fish just like we train dogs. Great research, but pretty much all animals learn from experience. Okay, I like that. I want to show you these luminous sharks. No, not the fucking Hoover. New shark. What do you say? Is that glow in the dark? I don't know. I know it's like a luminous, but fuck knows how to spell it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, look, they found this new species of shark, and it glows in the dark. Mad. Coast of New Zealand. Mad. It's not looking good, Kelsey. It's not looking good at all, my friend. And people in the YouTube.
So many rejections, man. It might just range above this area.
Yeah, which isn't so bad, you know, because if it does range above this area, remember, you know, we can still create like a 1 hour support. That's going to be a stronger confirmation, if anything, that we would continue. So as long as we're respecting the area that we broke out of, then I mean naturally we should continue. But obviously what we don't want is the 4 hour to end up closing. See, if the 4 hour closes below 300 or 320, but closes above this resistance, then we're going to get a lot of choppiness within this area, which is not really a good situation. But if the 4 hour can close above 149.300, then that will mean all the time frames, you know, wouldn't be like consolidating at that point. I mean, yeah, look what we're doing now. I'm not really, yeah, unless we get like a you know, a wick down and then we do actually end up closing somewhere up over there, it just makes no sense to buy right now. Haven't, you know, did not plan for this. Come on guys, let's get 30 likes in here. We've got 28. Let's at least get 30 likes. Right, we've got around 3 minutes left. If we can see, if we do start to reject this lower end again on the 5, if we're getting a 15-minute candle closing above 149, 308, 300, if we get the 30-minute also closing fairly strong, then I think we can have nice buys. If it does not, then what can I say, man? We've got to wait for maybe like a 1 hour support at that point, and that's just how it goes. You know, if you don't get the, see, I think this is like good, because, you know, if you don't get that confirmation, you wait for the next time frame, right? Let's put it like this, right? Let's put it this way. Let's say you don't get the 15-minute confirmation that you want. So 15-minute does not work. Now you need to say to yourself, okay, 15-minute didn't work. I now must wait for the 30-minute. If we don't get that confirmation on the 30-minute, you might say, okay, I'll either wait for the next 30-minute, because it's still a higher time frame confirmation, which may actually end up being you have to wait for the 1 hour to close. So now you're being extra disciplined, because now you've gone from taking a potential 15-minute trade to the 30-minute, giving yourself a higher time frame confirmation, and then now you're going to the 1 hour because you now still don't have enough confirmation on the 30-minute, and then this becomes your higher probability setup. You know, but sometimes it's going to happen on the 15, sometimes it's going to happen on the 30. You just have to be aware of all situations. Because even if we come back in range, I tell you what, I'm still looking for buys within the range, but at the lower end of this range. Because within the 4 hour vicinity, I know this is a, you know, mid-range support. This is mid-range support over here, and we also have a mid-range resistance. So if we're closing below 148,700, then it sells down to the bottom of the range, and if it's above here, then you're looking for rejections for buys back up. But it seems like we're not going to close bullish on the 30-minute there. Yeah, glad that we've waited here today. You know, I've taken one trade this week. It's been a loss. Not the best situation, but what is the best situation is that we have avoided a lot of noise and mess. You know, because now, as you know, now we're creating these resistances above this range. No good. You know, it's going to be very difficult. This is going to be one of those situations where we may just get a candle do this, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, if you want to buy with that, that's fine. But you know, it's a very, very, very difficult situation to deal with. We may just get that, so we'll have to see. So I believe the 30 closed bearish. Yeah, 30-minute candle closed bearish. Yeah, there's no buys at this point. We would still need a solid support to form, so we're going to be here a little while longer. Let's look on the 5-minute. I mean, it looks like we're rejecting the top of this range at this point. So we'll see. Man, why Vantage taking so long to get back to me about my withdrawal? Last week they were really good. Last week they were really good. I put my withdrawal request in on Friday. I got the confirmation over the weekend. Bang, ready to go by Monday. In my account by Monday. Let's look at the 1 hour, because the thing is, the 1 hour closed. Oh, what's going on? Trading views bear bugging. Yeah, because the 1 hour is closed like a strong 1 hour candle right now, like an actual pull back. So it's pretty important to wait here. Man, is anybody else's trading view just playing up like this? What the hell is it doing? Bet any money if I reload it, it won't work.
Well, it's fine to be fair.
Okay, let me try. Let me reload it. Alright, there we go. Let's take a look at gold. Oh, gold is just continuing to move bearish. Yeah, we create that resistance on the 5 minute. We started to make that lower low. It's a really good selling opportunity there on gold to continue down. But I'm looking for some solid resistance. Euro NZD is just in a disgusting consolidation range. Okay, because we've got 53 minutes left for this 4-hour candle to close. Yeah, it may do what we spoke about. It may just push right up into these wicks, but there won't be much confirmation for that. Do you trade gold? Yes, sometimes. Yes, I do sometimes. I think I'm gonna start looking at it more and more now properly, because I mean, one of the things I notice is, you know, like good positions on gold. You know, I miss out on because I'm too focused on pound yen, which is good. Like I want to be focused on pound yen, but I know that I can also catch good moves on gold. I've looked at gold for a long while, but it's very difficult. Like if you're trading gold, I think you gotta stay clear from like impulsive entries. And gold is one of those, like I'll be getting out or break even like fairly quickly on gold. You can catch 10 pips easy on gold, just get in and out quick. Yeah, I think once gold goes 10 pips, I'd probably go break even. Like that's how I'd play gold, or just secure profits at 10 pips and then just let like a lot of the position run at that point. But yeah, I think daily we could be coming down to fill this wick at this point. Yeah, that's what I was looking at on gold, because we had one or two options. We either had gold moving further up to fill this wick, or we had gold creating resistance to continue down to fill this wick, right? So you have to plan for these things. The only issue we have is we're at this previous level now. You know what I mean? We're at this support level here as well. That's why I'm waiting to see if we can get some resistance somewhere. Kind of like pound yen, you know, we're waiting for support to form, because those impulsive moves down, you know, they stitch you a lot of the time. Yeah, this London session has not been great. It's not been great. Yeah, it's not been great at all, but it is what it is. Session's not over yet. There's a major support on the 4-hour for gold. Yes, there is, and we are at it right now. It's to the left hand side. So the better thing is going to be, you know, like sells below this previous zone, because then, you know, you have these clean moves down to retest these lows. If you look on the 1 hour as well, this is kind of your area here, roughly. So we're in those. We're looking at those two. Right, so we've got about a minute and a bit for the 15-minute candle to close. It is ranging. Yes, it is. It is just ranging at this point. Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of just ranging at this point. I feel like if I execute on the 30-minute close and price retraces, I'll end up telling myself I didn't take note of 15-minute resistance. I mean, it depends, like, because if the 30-minute candle's closing bullish, then we should be closing like a strong bullish candle within these rejection wicks. And if you look what's happening again right now, we just seem to be rejecting every single point of this zone. So I mean, when you see that, effectively we want to see like a little gun. This is called the gun structure. So basically what this means is it's the shape of a gun, and this is the barrel. This is these wicks here. No, that's the trigger there. The lower resistance is the trigger, and then if you get a bullish candle close within the gun, that's your ammunition, that's your magazine going into the little pistol, and that's your confirmation. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, I mean, if we close like this in 8 minutes, I think we can see a good move up here with the 30-minute, because we're closing now above this area here on the 15-minute time frame. I personally think this is a good is a fairly strong candle. We just want to see now the 30-minute close overall bullish, and then hopefully that will suggest that we can start heading up. I mean, we may actually run up from this candle here, but I don't want to take it based on that 15-minute close. That makes no sense, because we still have these rejection wicks hit up over here. We've just closed above the most recent rejection, but this may start to continue up now. I mean, if it does, it does. Let's look on the 5-minute. Yeah, we could start running up from this point, but I wouldn't have wanted to have taken buys here, personally. But if this is the move, then I mean, so be it. So be it. No impulses on the break of the 1 hour high though. It's not going to be a good situation right now. To be honest with you, I mean, if we do it, let's say this candle just runs up and we miss the 30-minute entry, then I want to see like a higher level of support somewhere over here. That's what I want to see, a higher level of support somewhere over here, and then take a buy. I was worried about this candle because the way that it closed above this little area here, this one here may be the move now to continue bullish, but then got all this rejection. I don't know. Let's wait to see how the 30 closes. But if we miss it, then I'm afraid we've missed it, guys. All that waiting for a very difficult confirmation situation. But I believe we're breaking above the 1 hour high now at this point. Yeah, I think this was the confirmation there, potentially.
I just saw that happen. I went to make some food and I just looked. And it was like, yeah, broke above.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe the 30 will close nicely.
Yeah, potentially. Very potentially. Right. If you guys bear with me just for 2 minutes, I've just got an incoming call. 1 second.
Not sure if you're talking, but you're still on mute.
Sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call from me bank. Right, so yeah, it looks like that was it, man.
Is that 15-minute getting back above that area?
Yeah.
Well,
We did speak
again.
We did speak about it. You know, if this candle just continues moving up, there's not a lot we can do about it. But that 15-minute was the confirmation. This 15-minute candle was the confirmation, clearly, because it closed. But I mean, for me, I said to myself, you know, I'm going to wait for the 30-minute candle to close. It barely had a wick on it as well. So, I mean, if this next candle had closed like this, you know, then you'd be pissed. If it closed like bearish, then you would have been pissed. You know, because this wasn't a good enough confirmation. But, yeah, I'm afraid it is what it is. We have missed the boat. And let's look on the 5-minute. Yeah, even on the 5-minute, I mean, the only confirmation was maybe the fact we tried to come back below support. We closed like back in the range. You could argue that, but that's not really something I've seen a lot of times. But yeah, really, really difficult move. Look at gold. Still waiting there on gold. But pound yen, man. Even if you got on the break of the 1 hour high, you still got like 15 pips there. But I just don't know if it made sense to be buying up over here when we could have rejected again. So yeah, that was actually quite tough, I have to admit. Yeah, JM waited for the close. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I have to admit, I didn't like that at all. It would have been better with an impulse entry on the break of 149.380. Yeah, could have made sense, but we didn't even get a 30-minute candle at least closing bullish as support. This candle was your confirmation candle, but it had no wick to the bottom and barely a wick to the top. It was just a bit of a... I don't know why GJ just being so hard recently. But I think overall, you know, the buys really were started from here. You know, it was a 12 pip move, it ran, and then this is where your runners now become, you know, really, 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 really important. I don't think it's a good idea to enter buy since 4 hour is coming to an end, and I don't see this 4 hour can't go further up. Well, yeah, but it did. It did. That's the thing. I mean, I spoke about if we break this 4 hour high this morning, then we can continue moving up. So even just that idea itself has given us a 30 pip squeeze. But I mean, that was just, yeah, it was just a really... I mean, it did kind of make sense. You know, if you look at structure, it makes sense. But, you know, if from a disciplined trader perspective, he's going to think, okay, well, look at all these rejections. Is this one candle enough to say that we're going to break through these rejections? Possibly. Possibly it was a good enough confirmation, but we wasn't in it. But that's all we can do is look back and see how we could have caught that move. So I think that means no trading day today, which isn't really what I wanted. I mean, we've still got the rest of the day, right? But I think overall it makes it pretty hard. It did a 50% correction of previous impulsive move, then pushed up again. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was difficult. Plus, I got a phone call as well while this happened, and I wasn't really expecting it to do so. What I would have liked then if we had like a bearish candle form here, if we had a bearish candle forming here, and then we can see, okay, well, it's still respecting this area. That would have made sense. You know, there's yeah, bit shit really.
Same for me. Like, I went downstairs and I was like, all right, then I'll wait for a 30-minute support. I mean, that previous 30-minute was quite weak. Maybe we're going to respect that level. But yeah, the 15-minute just closed above and it went, so I missed that. But yeah, even still, like you're saying, like we had a lot of rejections there. Getting in just purely based off that, when it didn't really have a bottom or a top wick. It's pretty difficult.
Yeah, that is. I think that's very hard. Yeah, that's just really tough there. I entered on the break of the resistance wicks and currently running in profit. Nice. Yeah, it could have made sense. It would have had to have been like an impulsive move, and then you basically just want to get your stops to break even fairly. I would say fairly quickly, because if you think about it, once we start breaking these highs and it looks like it's coming up, it looks great. You know, it could very easily flip and reject. But yeah, it looks like our target was reached there with daily. Oh man, how annoying is that? Daily resistance is now reached. Literally, everything. You know, everything we said happened, just didn't get to click the button. You know, if we had that 30-minute candle closing bullish, I think we could have had a great move there. You know, that would have been the push, but it just didn't happen that way. We had one confirmation candle. It was a weaker candle. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. It doesn't put me in the best position for the rest of the week. So we've got tomorrow and Friday. So really, I need a win on both of those days to make this week decent. Nice 20 pips, awesome.
But I was looking, actually, we did have a 15-minute mini resistance at like 5:30. We just closed above it, and then this candle's wicked down into it and then broken the high. But then if you were really expecting that to push up and not come back down, you'd have like a 2-3 pip stop, you'd be up 15 pips, but then the 4 hours closing 30 minutes, expect we're going to get a pullback, but we're just not. Still going.
Yeah, it's just a shame because we literally anticipated this whole thing, and when you miss it, it's just like it's a bummer. It's a bummer. Man, GJ really does break hearts. I don't know what it was, like to start the year. I mean, if you were taking trades off the smaller time frames, you were just getting screwed. So yeah, well, looks like we tapped into 700. We're now rejecting. Yeah, I think it's quite a difficult situation at this point because we've tapped into daily resistance. So I mean, we need further confirmation of support for price to continue. What the hell's happened to the color? I've lost my color. Why is that like that? It should be darker. Oh well. So yeah, I think for buys at this point, I mean the only real thing we can wait for is to see if we can get a retest of like 149, 400, create some support over here, and then this become these wick fills, they become targets. Because now at least we've seen that we can push further on, but now we'll have to wait and see if we've got volume. But again, just looking on that 5-minute move, it's almost like we had this move up. It's almost like we had this move up over here. We had this breather going on, market taking a breather, and then we had that continuation. So it's like, how do you catch these moves? Obviously, clearly this was some form of impulsive move, anticipation move, but not really what we wanted to see. I just can't get over that 15-minute. I had a sneaky feeling, but it was like, it's just not good enough. But then I did say we could have a 15-minute closing into these wicks and then miss the move. So maybe that was my own. Yeah. Oh well, I'm still waiting to see if we can get a resistance on gold. If we can have a retracement on gold, form some resistance, that would be pretty good for some sells. So that's something I'll be waiting for, looking at. Same with GJ really. If we do get a pullback and create some further support, then that also would make sense. I mean, for the most part, we've missed the move. And in fact, if we had entries down at like 149, 100, man, what a play that would have been today. And that was originally where I was thinking of entering in. Right on this support retest, exactly what I was thinking of doing. But my plan was to wait for buys above 149, 230, because then we have all that clean move to the left. Whereas this is all in the 4-hour range, but still, this did make sense. We still had structure there because we made a higher resistance level. We also created this higher level of support over here. Clear fake out. We see this happen all the time now. It's literally like a retest and then a continuation back up to this level. And then we just had a bit of consolidation. We spoke about, this candle could potentially just run, but I wanted to wait for confirmation because, I don't and I lose. It's my fault. So we have to. Maybe you should allow yourself 2 impulse entries a week. What do you think? I think it's not about how many impulse entries. It's about a bit of experience and knowing when's the right time. I mean, I think on this occasion you could argue both ways. This was the wrong time and the right time. You could argue it was the right time now because you can see it physically, but at the time, do you want to be taking impulse entries when you seen how price was reacting at these levels? I mean, it's up to that's up to you. I mean, impulses are only going to get you so far. You're going to catch moves, but you're also going to lose a lot more moves, and that's one of the things that stitched me up. So yeah. So anyway, guys, I think we're gonna call it a day there now. I mean, what can we do at this point? Create first bit of support on the 5 minute, but again, we're gonna have to wait. Gonna have to be some waiting involved again to see if we get any continuation, but we can't really take buys until we get further support formed. Same with gold. I'm looking for sells on gold if we can get a resistance formed. Solid 30-minute resistance would be best for sells, so we'll take a look. But that was really unfortunate about the GJ buys. I mean, they made sense. Like, it did make sense. It was a strong candle, but I feel like, yeah, I mean, if I'm not confident to execute, I'm not confident to execute at the end of the day. So what can you do? So yeah. Plus this area was just putting me off. It was just, yeah, I don't know. So there you go. So anyway, guys, we're gonna call it a day there. Thanks very much for coming on the stream. Really appreciate it. Yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 AM GMT. Right, we'll be back tomorrow. So yeah, thanks guys, take care, drop a like on the stream, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks guys.